from the lavatory. Welcome to the Close Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. Welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Closed Traffic Podcast. Oh man, look at the scene of folks we have on today. This is definitely a first, or a first in a very long time. Welcome back to CTP. We've got a packed agenda, a really great show lined up for you all. But first and foremost, and as always, Johnny, Charlie, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
Howdy.
So enthusiastic. Hopefully we'll have a better show than that.
Hello.
Listen, we've got plenty of folks on here to keep this thing running today. We're going to make our ways around the room. But before we get started, this is our third annual Closed Traffic Podcast FSExpo preview. So typically what we do here is grab a bunch of content creators and enthusiasts together, especially those that are going to be attending Expo, to really get us hype and really think about some of the great things that we are going to encounter as the weekend approaches. But without further ado, we'll make our rounds around the room. Leo, we'll start with you, man. Leo, say hello to the people. You are a returning guest of Closed Traffic Podcast, so most folks know you, but for the people that are new here, introduce yourself.
Hey, I gotta go first. Well,
Yes,
like
sir.
Johnny said, hello, people. But what's going on, guys?
Can't wait 20 impression. Sorry.
Right? Yeah, just me, simple old LeoStixx 86, content creator on YouTube. You know, pumped to get this FSExpo thing started this week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready.
Awesome. Good to have you, man. Good to have you back. Moosestaffa, I think first time on Closed Traffic Podcast, but certainly not new to the industry at all. Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, my name is Moosestaffa. I've been into flight sim since I was in junior high, and I'm 40. I turned 43 yesterday, so I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, and I've been involved with FSExpo in one way or another at all of them since they started in Las Vegas back in 2018, I think it was, and been loving it, and so just can't wait for taking off this weekend and heading over. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Awesome. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Not Matt. What's up, man? Returning guest of Closed Traffic Podcast. How you doing?
Oh man, I have to say the hello, people. It's a theme going on there. Doing great. Yeah, it's hard to top after we got LeoStixx 86, which has one of the coolest names, and Moosestaffa here. Not Matt's starting to sound kind of lame. I've been in the flight sim world for a very long time. I don't know. FS 2004, FS 2000 probably. And yeah, I just I'm actually really hurt that I cannot attend FSExpo this year because, as I've told Evan probably a few times in a couple crying calls, that it's just astronomical for me to fly out there. But I'm really pumped to see all the photos. I'm really pumped to see all the cool product releases and announcements, and it's a travesty to miss. So don't miss it.
Awesome. We appreciate you, Matt, for I know it's pretty late out there European time, so appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. And of course, last but not least, Mr. Evan. How are you, man?
Hello, people for Evan.
Hello, people.
There he is.
Was that exactly when I was supposed to be introduced?
It was exactly as you were introduced,
the whole way. So obviously,
Does anyone have a good Evan we could just imitate for the time being?
So I'm at a hotel. I'm actually in St. Paul. I got here today, and I'm at the hotel, and I'm like, I don't know if the internet is going to work out well enough. The whole time you're doing intros, it's like glitching in and out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to quickly switch to my hotspot and hope that works better. Of course, the moment that I switch to the hotspot is when you come to me. So that exactly.
Hey, that's the glitch for the week, man. Right there. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the
You're
only
good to
one.
go.
That's the only thing that's gonna go on.
That's the way. Yep.
Hopefully the internet works well enough. Hopefully I can be here for the whole time. I don't know if I should feel bad that this is the third annual one of these, and it's the first time I've been invited to it. So I don't know what to make of that.
You were on the very first one.
What was I? Okay.
You were.
So I was
you
invited
were.
last year. Did I not do very well the first time?
You and Phil were there. I think you were busy last year.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having us. This is what one of the 3 hotels will look like if you're staying at the Hyatt Place. This is a sense as to what you can expect. And I'm here all week, and we'll do my best to make sure the internet lasts and chat with you guys and give you a little bit more of an idea of what to expect this week.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you making the time, Evan. I know you've got a lot going on. So listen, we are here, and shout out to everyone joining us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're making your rounds from. We appreciate you guys spending some time with us this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you may be. We've got a packed expo this year. I think we say that every year, but every year it continues to grow and get even more exciting. Ton of exhibitors, ton of sponsors, tons of activities. I guess I'd like to go around a room to see what are you guys most excited for. Leo, since we started with you last time, we won't start with you. We'll go to Moosestaffa. What are you most excited for?
So for me, and I've told this story on my stream a number of times, but when I first ever went to one of these, it was actually FlightSim Con before it became FlightSim Expo. And it was looking forward to, just going to some kind of a flight sim experience with other people and being able to see hardware and software and developers and just that kind of a cool thing. And it's still, that is awesome. That's way cool. But for me, what it's become is FlightSim Expo is like the best family reunion you could ever ask for, because it's all of the people that share our love of aviation, our love of flight sim. We all speak that same language that, most of our friends locally don't necessarily, you flight sim, what is that? So it's that online friends that you don't see but once a year. And so the hardware is super cool. The speakers are awesome. The little actual events are cool. But for me, the best thing is getting to see all of my friends and all the people and meet new friends. And it's amazing. I'm on cloud 9 the entire time.
Nice. I think that for me too, it's funny. I think that's the once a year that Johnny, Charlie, and I get to see each other.
Yeah,
in different parts of the country.
exactly.
So even as podcast partners, that's the time we're looking forward to. Leo, how about you, man?
So, I will piggyback off of what Moosestaffa said. I've been to other events, especially like the cons for, the anime and stuff like that. My lady is into that type of stuff. But we're different kind of geeks, right? Not many people sit here and fly a virtual plane real time, might I add, across the world and around the world. And I think that it's an awesome opportunity for people to come together and, create unbreakable bonds. And I know that's especially true for me and my community. These guys are some of the, best friends that I've ever made. And, even though some of them live right here in my home state, it's still awesome when we can all just jump on a plane and go to an event where we all speak the same language. So, yeah, I agree with Moosestaffa on that.
Nice. Matt, I know you're not going to be there this time around, but you've obviously attended many expos in the past. What do you typically look forward to when you do attend?
First, I want to touch on the whole family reunion thing, because I think that really hits home. Any kind of gathering like this is it's like a family reunion. It's even better because you don't have a drunk uncle starting a fight with the other uncle. So
that's true.
Two-Tone Murphy will be there, so
Yeah.
Oh no! All right, hide the beer, hide the whiskey, hide whatever that man likes. We don't need drunk uncle Two-Tone Murphy attacking. I don't know, someone else there. But yeah, it's just seeing all the cool stuff firsthand, right? Like reading it online is fun and all, but like when you're there and you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing. Or, oh, when did this happen? That's that's like really, other than the reunion, and you're kind of like, you're just surrounded by people that all like the same thing as you, which is kind of hard in this day and age. I feel like when you go out and about, you don't get to usually get surrounded by people who are also as nerdy as you with airplanes and helicopters and fake air traffic control. So I don't know. That's my thing right there.
Awesome. Evan, you obviously have the privilege, depending on how you look at it, of looking at this from from another angle. Obviously, right? I can't imagine how much of it you actually get to enjoy. But what do you look forward to the
Very
most?
little.
Besides the last day, what do you look forward to the most from
I'm
these
looking
expos?
forward to everybody seeing St. Paul. I've been here 3 times now. It's my 3rd time here. Once to check out the venue in the first place. Once with FS Elite. We did that video back in April, and just seeing Callum and Greg's reactions to a place they'd never been to before, and I assume a lot of attendees haven't been to before. I didn't even heard of St. Paul. Like, I knew Minneapolis was a place, but I was like, oh yeah, the airport is MSP. I wonder what the SP stands for. I'm finding that out. So I'm really curious to see what people think. A new venue for us, a new city, a place to explore. And then just seeing what people think when all that stuff comes together, the different add-ons that we have, the tours that we get to do, all the new stuff in the exhibit hall this year. It's always a really cool kind of learning experience for us as we watch attendees go through this experience that we work on designing for them over the course of like 18 to 24 months. So I'm always the most excited just to see what people actually think of all this stuff we put together.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, I know it's a ton of hard work by you and the team. We appreciate you all and thank you guys every year for going through the painstaking logistics of putting on something like this for everyone to come and enjoy from all over the world. It doesn't go unnoticed, so we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
I guess I could ask Johnny. What are you looking forward to, man?
Well, Rob. I'm thinking about Rob, but Mike, since you pride me, man. Truth be told, I love being able to meet people who speak my language. I can't tell you how many times you'll be, somewhere or whatever, and something or aircraft to fly over. It's like, oh, yeah, it's a 737-800 or whatever, and people are like what, and to further compound all that, within an already niche, interest or hobby, which is aviation, you drill down and flight simulation is even more niche. And so even within my own household, I speak a completely different language.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you're going out or whatever. And, thankfully, shout out to the missus for, dealing with my shenanigans. But, being able to take a break, meet a bunch of like-minded people and create relationships that, that last well beyond the event. I got contacts in my phone to this day, people I keep up with to this day, that I met at Expo. So I'm looking forward to creating new memories. Hopefully all of them are good. And, I've been at work for several companies, one out of Egan way back when, and a couple out of St. Paul. So, pretty familiar with the area. And I know there's some pretty interesting, activity as it relates to the libations there. So, looking forward to camaraderie and the breaking of bread. And on top of all that, the hardware is going to be nuts. I know the hardware is going to be like none other. And being able to meet the people who make the things, shake hands with them, build relationships off of that. I mean, there's nowhere else to do it. So for sure. But yeah, I think those are the 2 aspects I'm looking forward to the most.
Awesome. What about you, Charlie?
Man, kind of piggyback off everybody else.
Yeah.
The hardware for sure. I'm a hardware geek. I love looking at that stuff. But the camaraderie, meeting the folks, you only get to see on streams, and just making new friends and just being in that atmosphere. It's special, man. It really is for geeks like us. It is a special time. Most people don't understand it. You know what I mean?
They'll never understand, Charlie.
No. And try to keep Johnny out of trouble. That's going to be the key.
That's what you're looking forward to the most, keeping Johnny out of trouble. Yeah,
I had to call Sis. Hey, come get your boy.
I think that's like the challenge, right? It's like the fun end of the challenge is you see how much trouble can he get into before you have to intervene. And you're like making notes. You're like, okay, that was one too many libations, as someone so elegant.
That's right. That's right.
I've never had to kick anybody out of the show before, so I would love it if that.
We will try not to do that. We will try our best.
That's my only ask. If you want to do whatever you want at the bar, just don't get the show in trouble. It's fine.
These dang guys helped sponsored, but we had to kick them out.
I'm sorry, they brought in a karaoke machine. I couldn't help myself.
I'm going to change my notes about how media partners are getting in. You're going through security now.
Sorry, midi flasks have been banned.
It's gonna be like the part of the airport where you're randomly selected for extra screening.
Yeah.
Even
Mike
Charlie,
how's your CTP shirts, man?
That's right. That's exactly
We're all coming
right.
in as janitors.
I'm gonna shave my beard so nobody knows me.
Oh man, you guys are hilarious. Evan, quick
Y'all
question.
acting up already.
Already, man. We still have 4 days to go. I know we've touched on this in the past, but could you you walk us through like how you guys select the cities for Expo? What's the criteria?
Yeah, it's a process for sure. It starts about a year in advance of, so it's I guess 2 years in advance of the show. So we've done that for 2027 already. Starts kind of with a broad look at what do we think could work. A lot of those suggestions, including this year's, come from attendees. So somebody will randomly email me and say, what do you think about this place? And many of the places we've looked at and we'll say, well, that doesn't work because of this or whatever. A lot of the things will be is easy to get to. Will people want to go there? Does the venue have the internet, the electricity, the services that we need at a price that we can afford? Are there hotels nearby? Is the airport going to be serviceable for people coming from around the world? All those kinds of basic factors. And then we'll narrow that down to 5, 6, 7, something like that, kind of venues that could work. And then if I haven't been there before, myself and some of the others of the team will actually go do site visits. So I was here in probably February a couple of years ago and looked at all these different hotels, including some that we don't have on our actual official list because we decided that they weren't good enough or the pricing was wrong or whatever it may be. Look at the venue, talk to the people here, and then we go through this really, really detailed effort of like actually building out a budget basically for 3 or 4 different cities. And it's a little bit on our side, but it's a lot on the attendee and the developer side. So when you get there, can you afford a bottle of water? Can you afford the hotel stay? Is it going to be a 4-hour trip from the airport because of traffic? Those are the kinds of questions that we look at from the attendee perspective. And then from the exhibitors, like, what does internet cost? What does electricity cost? What's the booth going to be like? Can you get your team there? And is that going to be reasonable? And then we try to put that all together into a thing that we think can work. And then we have some negotiations with our venues. And a lot of the time, we'll get down to 3 or 4 different venues as we did in the 2027 event. And it's like, okay, so this one's giving us this. Can you guys give us this? And they're like, oh, maybe we could do that. Maybe we can't. And it really is just negotiation. And I try not to do it in a way that's like super difficult. I'm probably not a very good poker player and not a very good negotiator. So I just tell people, I'm like, listen, this is what I need. Like, our exhibitors can't pay $1,000 for internet a day. That's not like, I know other shows can do that. That's not us. If you're not a venue that, can give us a good price on internet, let's just stop talking because there's no point. I can't, ask a flight simulation developer to pay $1,000 per day for internet. That's crazy. Whereas lots of other shows can do that. So it's really just like that back and forth. It starts probably, like I said, about 2 years in advance of the show. If we are doing things in our normal timeline in like March, April, May, we would have a signature for a venue for the next year. And that's where we are for 2026 and 2027. And of course, I'll announce that at the show.
Right. That's awesome, man. A lot of people don't realize how much goes into it. I know, again, for what I do for work, I see it all the time, but it's not known or visible to many folks that just come and attend. So again, like we said at the beginning, appreciate what you guys do. What I've loved with FSExpo throughout the years, incrementally, there continues to be, and we keep talking about flight sim, but incrementally, there continues to be a tie between flight simming and real world aviation. And it grows more and more every year with, pilots coming to speak. You've got certain airlines there. and not in any particular order, you guys feel free to chime in, but because I know we have some actual pilots in this group, what aspects of tying flight simulation to real world aviation have you guys seen and enjoyed with FSExpo over the last couple of years? Don't let me be like class and start calling on folks.
Oh no, I didn't want to talk over everyone. I think I talked about this last time. Like, I'm a private pilot. I'm not as decorated as some that may be here, but one of the interesting conversations that I've had with the U.S. Coast Guard is like how mind blowing it was to them, how many people are into this kind of hobby, and even like the niche that I'm working in, which is like the mission generation and building, and basically telling a story, right? They were blown away with like just how many people I have in the beta program alone, with very little marketing, and like it triggers something. It triggers kids to be like, hey, I want to do this. Like, I'm having fun doing this for fake. I want to do this for real. It triggers adults that are like, hey, I have fun doing this for fake. I want to do this for real. I think there's definitely, and like, please, someone that's more qualified as a pilot. I feel like a baby pilot. Speak up here, but the physics that you feel on your yoke or joystick may not be real, but if you run the procedures right, it really helps your muscle memory, especially for IFR stuff.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just talking about that the other day in real work, where our simulators that we use to train pilots to fly the CRJ, the Embraer, and even bigger planes, they don't replicate the feel of the airplane either. And so when we get candidates that come out of the simulator, their first landings in the airplane are not good. And I, as training person, I'm like literally holding on with them because they've never felt it before. Like, this simulators are just not good at replicating actual forces on real airplanes. That's not what they're for. And the amount of times that I try to explain that to different flight schools and different people from around real world aviation, there's a lot of pilots out there, especially sort of the older crowd who maybe didn't grow up with this technology. And that's their reaction, is they're like, well, I tried this simulator once, but it didn't feel like the plane, so I gave up. And I'm like, that's not the point, and B, like, it was probably one from like the 90s, and like the hardware has changed since then. Have you tried something recently? And they're like, no, right? So it's like getting them to at least give this the shot is a big thing, and that's where an event like this, of course, is like so relevant, because they can just come and try all these different kinds of flight simulators and be like, okay, actually this is different than the one I tried in the FBO in 1994, and it turns out things have changed since then. Like, great,
Right.
good,
Yep.
progress.
No,
that's
absolutely.
spot on.
Yeah, no, man, I'm gonna tell you, like, of course, it's 20 years ago, but going to a level D SobSim, and then even going into that shooting an approach, and the real thing is like completely different. I mean, I think you use the word level D, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is probably the latest. No, the visual fidelity is like, and feel is an afterthought. To me, it seems like when they design and built some of these things, and getting into, and so when you experience it, of course, we're using our sensory organs, right? We're looking at it, there's that seat of your pants feel, which you get to an extent in a level D. But I think in this day and age, we are at an era of flight simulation that I had never envisioned, when I first started my journey. So I couldn't imagine having this resource now, going through, going to type training or something like that, let alone something that we have a high fidelity rendition of, like, 737 or the 650, or any
Here
of
we
those
go.
aircraft. Or
Can't
any
go
of
one
those
show.
aircraft. No, I'm not. I'm gonna die on that hill, sir. But yeah, I mean, that the bridge, the gap between real world aviation and flight simulation now, in my mind, is just like completely blurred now. I can't tell you guys how many times I've you'll be at the airport or something, and Microsoft Flight Simulator comes up in the conversation, or X-Plane comes up in the conversation, even DCS comes up in the conversation. It's not so much of a taboo topic to discuss in the crew room anymore. You know, I remember those old heads back in the day, you know, used to work a trip with. Yeah, like I remember, like, you know, like, because I started back in like FS98. So heaven forbid, like, man, you might get kicked out if you brought up like flight sim or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
what? So you're trying to bring that, you know? You know, it was all, I don't know. I'm thinking like top hats and teacups, like when you're trying to have these discussions. But um it's just it never ceases to amaze me, you know, every release, you know, we of course you guys know we had two really big releases as it relates to corporate aviation just hit the market. And I mean, you know, I'm never, you know, I guess I don't know. And you know, we were kind of talking about age earlier, and you know, I just hit the big 40 last year, so you know, I just, you know, my old man, you know, my old man moments. but you know, sometimes I can't help but wonder, you know, 5 years from now, you know, 10 years from now, what will we be looking at today? And you know, Expo, you know, being able to, you know, hopefully, you know, a lot of you guys who are listening are able to make it, but, you know, being able to see some of these products that, you know, haven't even hit the market yet. Um, you know, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to see some, you know, real world aviators there as well. So, but yeah, not to kind of go off in the weeds, but you guys know CTP and the weeds just tends to be bedfellow here. But yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where. I know we're talking about
It's all right,
liberties
man.
and
That's
whatever.
why. That's
and
why.
and got like
That's
nostalgia.
why I moderate. It's fine. We were talking about the bridge
He
between.
was just like, I just turned 40, and he's like, Grandpa, go to bed.
Yeah, yeah, you know,
Come on,
and then I was like, man, wow, it's like almost 6 here, so it's like, you know, my bedtime. But
who are you? Don't call here anymore.
exactly. Yes.
It's all right.
Yes.
It's all right, Johnny.
Wow.
It's all right, man. We know you're very passionate about this subject. Leo, what about you, man? I know you were.
I think, like Matt said, I'm a low hour pilot in training, I'll say. I think that we're in the age of, how can I word this? We're in the age of, I'll just say the millennial, and I'll say the millennial that's my generation. I too am about to be 40 in 6 months. But I think
Good luck.
I think that we're to a phase in both real world aviation and flight simming that these two can coexist in the same room. These young kids that are coming up right now are absolutely flying through their flight, their real world flight training, and it's simply because they flight sim. Like Johnny said, it may not give you the feel, it may not give you, you know, the lateral G's, the positive G's, the negative G's, but it gives you procedure, it gives you CRM, it gives you a lot of different, you know, things that will help you in the real world. And I think that this is where our worlds meet as far as simming and real world aviation. After all, we're modeling the real world, right? We're simulating the real world. So why wouldn't they be able to coexist? Yeah, I just think that we're in an awesome time, just as a consumer, as a real world pilot, as a flight simmer, as a developer, and as just a straight up consumer that enjoys the hobby. And I think it's no better time to get into it than to come into an event like FlightSim Expo.
For sure, man.
I really like
It's
that comment.
mhm.
Yeah, like, because that's it for me. Is, you know, everyone has said this, which is, it used to be taboo, right? I remember my flight instructor back in the day said he knew that I was a flight sim nerd. He said, "Don't you dare tell the DP that you like flight sim." I'm like, "Yes, sir." And I took a little hiatus. And you know, I came back as an adult, and I went for my check ride, and I said, "Nah, screw it, I'm gonna tell her." And this woman, and I kid you not, this woman was an accomplished pilot. Like, she was a captain on the 777. She was type rated 7.6, 7.5, 7.3. And I was sitting there like, I should not have looked you up. And I went in there, you know, confident. I was like, yeah, I can fly. I'm a flight simmer. And as the words left out of me, I didn't know what to expect. But her face was like, yeah, okay. Like, she let it go. And then we got up there, and she's like, "Are you sure you're not like taking any IFR classes or something?" When we were doing the foggles, I'm like, "No, I just know how to like put the pointer where it needs to go and ignore everything else. I've been doing that for a while, so ignoring the G's and everything, they don't exist."
Yeah, it's
But I mean,
yep. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say we're not there yet though, and I mean like I think all those things are true, and obviously I agree with them. As a show and as an industry, not everyone has come around to that mentality yet, unfortunately. And like what Johnny said about the airlines, I think that's true. But like, has the FAA figured that out when it comes to air traffic hiring? I don't think so. And you can say
No,
that about ANSPs
No.
around the world. And have the airlines figured that out? No, because none of them are at our
no.
show. Not right. There's lots of entities who we approach as a show, and we're like, listen, this is the next generation of pilots. Like, y'all need to come to this thing and start paying attention to it, and start getting local kids who are in this area who you've met at a career fair to come to FlightSim Expo. And that kind of messaging doesn't resonate yet. So I think we've got more work to do. Like the
For
tech
sure.
is finally there, and people are finally realizing it. And yeah, it's not a taboo, so we've made a lot of progress. But I don't think we're there yet, and it's an area that we as a show realize that we need to put some more effort and focus into. We have some great support this year, and like finally had a flight school that is going to show up allegedly next weekend. At least we think so. But like I reached out to them for weeks and sent emails for a long time, and it was not until one of our attendees who lives in Europe and reached out to them directly and was like, "Listen, people, I want to book some time with you. Like I want to give you some money. Will you please take my money?" And they were finally like, "Okay, I guess maybe this is for real." And then like the next day they reached out and they're like, "Okay, we'll talk about exhibiting." Like it's just like why did they not figure that out until they had to have one person reach out to them and prove my point? I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
I think
tricky.
it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Matt.
No, go for it.
No, no, I was just gonna say I think it's generational as well, and I just want to give a shout out to Asobo, because
For real.
they've been able to bring this platform to a
Yeah.
completely different market and expose a completely new generation of, we're gonna call them future aviators, right? And with that, as you know, I'm thinking of my kid, 16 years old, he's being exposed to Microsoft Flight Simulator, goes out there, hopefully gets flight training, gets those tickets. You have a new generation of flight simmer, and eventually, Evan, I hope and pray at some point, um, our hobby that we hold dear will eventually become more accepted as
Mhm.
the older generation begins to make their way out, retire, or whatnot, and we start to, in my mind, I think the shift is inevitable.
It will,
I think,
Johnny. It
you
will.
know,
It will. You know why I say that? It will. It will because I I hate to kind of say it like this in a kind of dark, humorous way, but the old people can't live forever. We're the next in line, and so if we are carrying that
That's
forward, it has no other option but to continue and be
yep.
accepted. We're the ones that's gonna accept it. You know
But
what I
that,
Yeah,
mean?
that
like
means as a show though, and that means as a even group of us, like it's incumbent upon us, and I think this is where Microsoft is also doing a great job. We have to find the kids because if we don't
Yep.
replace them and we don't get new people into our hobby, we will also have the same problem, right? You look at Flight Sim
Absolutely.
Expo, especially the beginning years, but even now, it's an older show. Like it does punch above its weight in terms of demographics, and that makes sense. Your
Hmm.
kids are gone or your kids are out of the house. You've got time, you've got money. It's an easy hobby that you can do indoors and require a whole lot of athletic activity. Like it makes sense that it's a great
Hmm.
thing for somebody to do when maybe they can't fly anymore, but this is still their connection for aviation. So I'm not knocking that in any way, but I
Absolutely.
am saying like, how do I get the person like you, Leo, who's in flight training, right? How do I find you and get you to come to the show? Or if you're someone who lives in Minnesota and you're 15 and you're interested maybe in some kind of a career in aviation, how do I find you? Because I want you to come to this show and experience this and get into our world. But you're a hard person to find for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think like two things. One, I was just having this conversation. I wish a little bit of VATSIM hours would count to real life. Like if you got, I don't know, a quarter
That'd be so
or a
cool.
fifth, that'd be so cool. But onto a real subject, because I think a lot of people miss the trickle down economic factor here, which is take a simmer who's a hardcore simmer and loves simming. They get in an airplane, they get immediately motion sick. They say, this is not for me. But then they realize that there's other ways to be around airplanes that you don't have to fly them. Maybe they don't want to fly. Maybe they want to be a flight attendant. Maybe they want to be baggage handling. Maybe they want to move up in the operations world and logistics. Like, there's so many other ways, and I've seen people do that on my time, through VATSIM or FlightSim or whatever it may be, where they did swing big and they went for like being a pilot, and they're like, you know what, I flew a plane and I hated it. I don't want to do that ever again. And then now they're like flight scheduling ops at a big legacy carrier or something. Yep. So, and the other point I want to hit on is, Evan, you are absolutely correct. Like, there's still a hard stigma, but compared to what it used to be, I feel like Weekend, Asobo, X-Plane, like, just everybody, all you guys are working together without even knowing it, or trying to do it intentionally. It's reduced that stigma a lot. You can actually talk about it, and before, I don't know about your guys' experiences, but before, if I would talk about this, it would be an immediate laughter, and now it's a chuckle and like, wait, I'm kind of intrigued. Tell me more, because they see these videos of these high fidelity graphics. They don't know what they're missing is they don't know that there's this whole like sub layer of extra stuff that goes along with it, which is like the high fidelity airplanes or the high fidelity sceneries that take you out of that blocky, I don't know, FSX default auto gen scenery and put you into the real, for example, Atlanta. I think that stigma has really gone down, and I'm, as a simmer myself, first and foremost, I'm grateful for everything that y'all have done. I mean, podcasts like this, developers, Asobo for bringing it to console, finding a whole new demographic of people. It may not run awesome compared to, I don't know, a 5090 and a i15,700. But
two kidneys.
Yeah, at least it gets them in the door. And then they're like, exactly. You know what? I want to get off the console because I want the full experience. Let me go to PC. And it's just Flight Sim has now become a gateway hobby. I call it a gateway hobby.
No, it's interesting that you mentioned moving up in tech ops and the fact that you can simulate real world crew operations, etc. In fact, I think it's Friday. You've got if I'm not mistaken, Evan, the tech ops tour, as well as real world airliner procedures conversation. So again, continuing to bridge that gap between, this is just flight simming and it's a hobby, and a lot of people like to call it a game. Bridging the gap between that and real world aviation, it's great to see that despite some of the hurdles and challenges that you guys encounter, there's a willingness to continue to pursue it and drive it forward. Moosestaffa, anything on your mind, man, with this topic?
So I may be the only one here that isn't actually a real world pilot. Although I did do flight training back in college, so I was working toward it. And actually, 9/11 is part of what changed that landscape for me. A combination of not kind of running out of money, and then the whole industry changed overnight.
Yeah.
It went from super accessible to who are you, keep out. And that just, as a young person, that just kind of really caused me to stand off a little bit. So anyway, so my career took a different path, but I did flight training and the solo cross countries and the whole thing, just basically everything just shy of the PPL. And back then, that was for me Microsoft FlightSim 98 and going in right there. So even with that, like we were making fun of it, very rudimentary compared to what we have now. But even that was such a bridge to understanding the basics, because when you're doing your initial flight training, that's all the basics. And so we didn't have the FMS simulations and stuff and the things, and we were still, if you were flying an airliner in 98, you were doing VOR to VOR. The map sucked, so I had a US map on my wall that I was trying to draw out bearing lines to try and figure out, and it still wasn't working very well. But man, I learned VORs the hard way. And so, you get to now where we are in the sim, and the fact that the system depth is so immense. If you want to take it there, some of these airliner simulations, the failures that you can do, the system depth that you can do, and there's still, I mean, and there's still people that just want to be, you know, the whole Children Magenta line, you know, I just want to push the button and go autopilot from 400 feet to auto land on the brand. You know, it's flight sim, you do you. But if you want to go deep in the weeds, you can, and you can really learn this stuff. And I found that's where I've really enjoyed, that's kind of my niche, is I'm a systems guy. I just geek out on that like crazy, and I'm finding all these little like back end, and when something like breaks in the sim or something fails in the airplane, where a lot of people would go, oh, I guess that's the end of my flight, I'm like, challenge accepted. How are we getting this thing to point? How are we doing this anyway without cheating and pulling up the GPS that I don't technically have access to? So anyway, so all that to say is, you're right. The industry has a long way to come and still has a lot to embrace. Because if they do, and if people do this, you're right. They're making leaps and bounds in their training because they're so far ahead mentally. As long as they're not learning, you know, bad habits. Obviously, that's always the thing with self-simming. You want to be careful that you're not picking up and learning things that you shouldn't be learning. And then obviously there's the feel of it. You're never going to get that until you step into a real plane. But if you can understand the way the plane works and all the systems, then you're getting in the plane and you're not having to learn, oh, what do all these dials do? You're just having to learn, hey, what does this translate to feel now? You're leaps ahead of everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. Saving money.
That's so true.
Saving money. And speaking of saving money, there's one thing we haven't really touched on yet, but like, forget the plane aspect of it for a moment. Even FSExpo and Pilot Edge and IVAO.
Oh man.
You know how many people struggle with radio work when they go for their private, and you know, you can go in and that not be an issue at all. I think it's pretty phenomenal. And there is ways to help. Yep, same here, man.
I don't know, Mike. My first time coming out of VKX, bro, having to talk to Potomac Approach in the real world, I was scared crapless, bro.
Oh, I didn't say you wouldn't be scared.
Potomac, yeah.
I didn't say you wouldn't be scared, but there's definitely a level of familiarity that you wouldn't have otherwise, and I think that goes a long way for sure.
Yeah, imagine talking to Potomac without any of that.
Right?
November 3, please don't
just sitting there holding the key button, like just holding it.
Hold it down, never let it
out. Yes.
Let off.
We literally did this study. This was a couple of years ago, but we did this. We asked people if they were pilots. We asked them if they used FlightSim or not, and we compared how many hours did it take you to get your PPL if you were a flight simmer and if you weren't a flight simmer. And we found it was about an average of 5.5 hours that you saved. That was just like a direct comparison, people who didn't, if they're using flight sim. So that's easily $1,000 more now in today's fuel prices and CFIs and all that stuff, right? And that was a couple of years ago with a lot of people who got their private pilots too way back when in the 80s and 70s when you couldn't even use flight sim for part of your training. So maybe it's worth redoing that study, but like this is absolutely a real thing, and the FSExpo effect or the Pilot Edge effect, that's absolutely a real thing. I give that advice to people that I train at the airlines right now. We get people who come in and they've only ever flown in maybe northern Canada where they don't have air traffic control. Yes, you can literally fly far without talking to ATC. That's Canada for you.
Wow.
Or they've come in from having only been at a flight school. They've worked at untowered airports. The last time they talked to a controller was like 4 years ago. So I will give that advice to people. If they're on the sim world, they can go on VATSIM. If they're not, they just tell them, hey, listen to Live ATC, and I'll say on this layover that we have, like, I want you to sit there and listen to Live ATC and read back the instructions, because that's what you need to practice. Like, get that part, because you can do that in the hotel. Let's not worry about, trying to talk to ATC when we're also trying to fly the plane. Let's get that part done. Right. So anyone who comes in with this flight sim background and with the background on feeling comfortable talking to ATC, such a huge advantage.
I just imagine Evan putting some poor FO in the corner and be like, "You're gonna listen to Live ATC."
You're gonna listen.
Yeah, and I'm like, read it back, write it down, read it back. You laugh, but it's true. It's a thing that people struggle with. Like,
it's
it is, man.
I would.
The guy turns around, he just slaps him on the hands, back in the corner.
Oh yeah,
and it's even more of an issue nowadays with the youth that are coming up now that don't talk to anybody. They're all on their phone texting. We're sitting there, people texting each other next to each other. It's like, dude, just have a conversation. Would you play? But it's always been an issue. It's only gonna get worse.
Communication.
That's where
absolutely.
CPDLC comes in. They're working on it.
I don't talk to
Oh my gosh, I'm
controllers.
crashing out now. I'm crashing out.
I'm not talking to controllers though.
Guys on the radio, text me.
Text me. Yeah.
Text me.
Better yet, Instagram.
Text me that number you want me to call.
That again is where VATSIM has had that for years, because years ago, before CPDLC, I'd give someone a full root clearance on VATSIM and they're like, oh, just text it to me. We already had that on VATSIM.
That's right.
Them again right there.
That is true.
Whole thing, real world's just following VATSIM. That's how it goes.
It's hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
That might have been me 10 years ago when I was flying up to Boston and trying to get Evan's read back correct.
That really inspired me, because like a lot of pilots will say that, and I was like, depending on how busy I am, sometimes I'll just break down and I'll send it to them. Sheet's like, nope, you can do it. We're gonna do it again, and he just forces it out of them, and he's just like big coach. It's great. I love listening to him. He's like, no, you can do it. Just read it back. You can do it.
Yeah.
I kid y'all not though, man. Like that was like going back all those years ago. I screw the airplane. Like, man, I couldn't communicate. Like I was always like, believe it or not, I know, Mike, it's hard to it's
It is hard to believe.
You know, Johnny not scared to talk. I know. Man, I would get on the mic and just like
lock up.
Like the illegal operation, man. The computer was just like, you know, like you guys ever like had like say intentions on like 90 million apps on and then try to run flight sim? That was Johnny's brain, and just lock the freak up, dude. And it really wasn't until back then it was like Satco. I don't know if y'all remember Satco. It was like old head, straight old head. But yeah, so I used to jump on Satco and this clearances, especially the clearances. And once to Mike's point, once you get past the anxiety of communicating over radio, I mean, flying the airplane is,
the airplane's easy.
Yeah. It's easy, rudimentary,
It's in your head.
It really is.
You're afraid You're afraid to sound stupid. That's what I remember, because I've been hit by the fear a couple times. It's usually when you're talking to the big Tracons, like you said, like Potomac, like Leo said, or I don't know, Boston. But when I don't know, I got a little bit blessed. I was talking to NorCal when I was in my flight training, but it was like the underside of NorCal, so they weren't that cool or important. They were doing the smaller Delta Charlies, and I don't know, like
VATSIM. Fresno, I feel right now. But okay, go on.
Absolutely. Go on. But I would talk stupid on VATSIM, and then someone would correct me in a harsh way, and then be like, "Oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't say that." And it got to the point where it was like, you know what? What's the worst they could say? They could just be like, "Oh, you're just a student pilot." It's actually more scary now that I'm certificated, because now I'm supposed to actually know what I'm saying and not sound stupid on
the What's funny, you'll have 13,000 hour pilots, and I get them all the time in my local airport. They'll be in the pattern, and man, it'll take them 30 minutes to November 7, 8. I mean, it's just take them decades, so now it's nothing to feel bad about, man. But yeah, to me, I mean, definitely communication is one of the biggest aspects of flight simming to really, help me along my journey. Doing those Bravo transitions, practicing that NSIM before before your flight, you got to do the next day where you're all going to actually do the Bravo transition. And eventually when I started to get students, that'll be, the first thing, hey, live ATC, jump on Satco, practice those clearances. And, because it's real, because the same thing I experienced, you'll have that new student and they'll get on there and they'll hit the push to talk and just, completely freeze. So it's definitely. It's well, whatever, Charlie. Man, I can't get you to shut up. But I'm just kidding.
Oh man, too cool, man. That was a robust topic. That took up a lot of time, but I think it was well worth the conversation. It was a lot of fun. Switching gears, like back to, I know I asked you guys what you're looking forward to the most for FSExpo this year, but there are going to be a number of announcements, right? There's a lot of anticipated or highly anticipated announcements from like Thrustmaster, Say Intentions, all those folks. What from developers or hardware manufacturers, what are you guys looking forward to the most from an announcement standpoint? What do you think some of the announcements may even be? And again, no particular order.
717.
From who?
TFDI.
You think so?
He got to, man. He got to.
You think so?
I will say I ran into him because they weren't there in an official capacity last year.
Colin.
Right. I ran into Colin, the buffest guy at the buffest.
Yeah.
I remember him from Houston.
Like Johnny Bravo.
Brother's got to turn sideways to get through an 8-foot door.
I know. So I just offhanded, I was asking about that, and I basically got the wink and a nod. So I think it's coming eventually. I just don't know when. But
gotcha. Well, we had him on the show. What was like 6 months ago?
It was a while, man. We tried to beat it out of him.
We tried to beat it out of him. It didn't happen.
That fish wasn't biting, was it, Johnny?
No, man. It was got skunked on that one, but yeah.
Hey, I'll throw this one out. You think we're seeing that 757 anytime soon?
I was going to say.
So I'm in the I'm on the emails.
How do you turn this thing off?
With the what's his name? He's got a kind of a hard to say name, but sure, or something like that. Anyway, and so it sounds like they're in like a second stage or about to enter a second stage beta right now with it. So I think we're close. I don't think we're gonna get a date at Expo at least, but it would not surprise me if. I mean, it's definitely going to be before the end of the year. I think. Yeah,
because what was it? I think I saw something as like Q3. Yeah, potentially Q3.
Potentially Q3. So yeah, unless something, and obviously with development, something comes up, and something breaks or whatever it is, who knows? But I think we are very close to, which I'm really looking forward to that 757.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope you're right.
Man, Leo,
Leo's been going through it.
They're going steam coming out of my ears now, bro. I'm Jones and
suckers fly over my house every day, and it's like,
I'm
blue
telling you that, and I'll even add to that the Any/Synaptic 220. I'm Jones.
Yeah, man, that's been a long time.
I was flying on VATSIM last week. I was flying into San Diego last week, and with the Synaptic 1 and Synaptic 2 on VATSIM.
No way.
Landed in San Diego, one in front of me, one behind me, and I got in the chat on VATSIM and said, "Hey, are you guys betas? Or are you guys like the devs?" And they're like, "We're the devs." And I said, "How's it coming?" He's like, "It's coming." So they're test flying it on the network right now.
That's awesome.
Thing. I was like,
that's cool.
Just has to take one for the team. Go to their booth and just release it. Like, just take one of their laptops and just figure it out. I know it'll be bad for all of us long term, but just take one for the team. Just do it.
Yes.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen? Right? That and the PMDG 747-100. Looking forward to as a systems guy and super detailed. Oh man, that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I like the 100 and all, but I need that 400.
I need the 4 in the air.
I need the 4.
No, the hot take here is like, nah, hard pass. I don't want to deal with all that.
Nope.
That's my man, Mike.
If it's not glass, don't show it to me.
No. Don't get me wrong. I love the old planes. I love the MD, but there's like a line where I draw where it's just becoming more work than I want to do. Like, I'm sure the L1011 is amazing, and I bet you all have tried it or flown it.
Fantastic.
I will not be flying it. It's just too much. I don't want to do all that. Like, I don't want to balance fuel and just like let me get like just a touch of modern. The 400, beautiful touch of modern. Like, give me a two-person flight deck. I don't need 3. I don't need a flight engineer.
I think like the 727 is old in the same class, but it's a good balance because even in the real world, you have some that's been retrofitted. with like
Yes.
GTM units. Like I love flying the FSS
Oh,
727.
it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even the one that they have with the FMS in it is old school, but it works. I'll fly that all day, but I ain't messing around with that damn what is it, the Siva INS or whatever it is.
That's my bread and butter. I love me some Siva.
Too much, man.
Love me some Siva.
I'll take all your Sivas.
You guys know about the Just Flight?
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
Fokker, yes.
Oh, that's right. That's the other one that should be coming soon because they're 70 and 100.
Yeah, they look about ready. Yeah.
Yeah, that 28 though that's a fun plane to fly. It's sporty.
I don't know. Personally, I want something like what you all just said, but I want something that's like still flying. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. The A340s, I love them. I love INI builds. I love Aerosoft's build of the 600 from Tolis. But they don't fly anymore. So it's like they do. I guess the 600's flying. There's like 6 of them now.
Yeah. A couple of them.
The 300.
Yeah, there's like 2.
It's Lufthansa. So I can only like I know I could.
Don't start, Mike.
I'm sorry.
It's an inside CTP. I love saying Lufthansa, man. It's great.
But like, I want something like, I don't know. Give me a 7.6. Like, I need a 7.6. I need that.
Well,
that's supposed to be coming with Bluebird.
We need that 7.5 to come out before they retire them all, which is getting closer.
That's
and closer.
exactly right.
Yeah,
Delta will never retire that 7.5. No. That thing is too much of a workhorse. They got no other rocket ships in the fleet. There's only one space shuttle, and it's the 7.5. That's why they haven't retired it.
It goes in and out of anywhere. Yep.
Exactly. You can't find anything like it.
Yep, that's true.
I don't know, guys. We say that, and then like watch it hit the news. Man, I'm just gonna start crying next week or something crazy. Delta says, you just don't know nowadays. I'm just saying.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
Well, with these fuel prices, that's true. That's cool. I'm looking for. I know IndyBuilds dropped some previews of the A380 last week or this past week, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. That's again, I think Fly-by-Wire does a phenomenal job with their freeware version. But it's exciting to see one that's coming out from IndyBuilds for sure. For sure.
I'm just glad that they're moving into that space. Like don't get me wrong, I love our freeware stuff that's out there, but the issue with freeware is they're not all fly-by-wire, right? Fly-by-wire put it like they have a passion. I talked to them at weekend about this. They have like this passion for keeping it like this free model, and I respect the hell out of that. But at the same time, not everyone has that like ability or drive to like keep the project going. Because at the end of the day, we all have to put food on our table, right?
It's time, absolutely.
It's time.
Yeah, and so like I'm kind of hot take on this because I think a lot of people got upset when Synaptic went with IndyBuilds to run that 220, but I'm glad they did. They need to be compensated for their time. They're making
absolutely.
And I told that to the Fly-by-Wire guys too. I was like, I wish you guys would go a paid model and make this like your full day job because. Like, then you guys can get rewarded for your time. I know that I'm going to get crucified probably for saying, oh, make more payware out there. But they're a unicorn, and I feel like there's definitely room for more unicorns to come out and hit that same model. But, like, at the end of the day, again, you guys are talking about it jokingly, but, like, fuel prices, everything's going up. So to focus on a project, you got to be compensated in some way because, the Patreon or the buy me a coffee, it really doesn't put a pound of beef on your table anymore.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Doesn't even get you a coffee.
Doesn't even get you a coffee.
It's probably more expensive than beef these days.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Now that a cup of coffee has been established to be about $30, thanks to
I'm glad you said it because I was going to.
As soon as you mentioned coffee, it was like
I knew it was coming, man.
Y'all remember the last damn near broke my mute button.
That's right. That was our hot topic last time Leo was on.
Oh boy,
Leo had to clear the room to get going on that topic.
Tables.
He almost flipped the table. That's hilarious. Just looking at time here, I know folks got a lot to do, especially our good friend Evan. I got one more topic for this group. So, where are you guys with AI? Air traffic control, so say intentions, beyond, etc. How do they? First of all, love it, hate it, kind of in between. I know we've had a couple of conversations about it on CTP here with some other folks, but would love to get this broader group's opinion on its place today and sort of where you think it'll go in the future.
Oh no.
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
So I don't like AI. I use AI, right? I've used Beyond ATC and I currently use Say Intentions. I think it is an awesome tool to supplement when VATSIM is lacking as far as coverage.
Yep.
I have several guys in my community whom, are radio shy, may not really know the VATSIM procedures and things like that. Guys in my community, kind of encourage them to take the VATSIM courses and things like that, but that takes time. But AI, like Say Intentions, is something that you can pick up, and it's almost like sitting in the corner listening to live ATC, right? You can pick it up, you can learn it real quick, you can learn the phraseologies, you can learn what to expect to hear, you can learn what to expect to say, and all of that without getting yelled at. Well, Say Intentions will give you a number to call now.
Gosh.
But I think it's an awesome tool, and it's an awesome tool, and it's an awesome supplement for VATSIM. We don't have top-down coverage each and every time that we fly on VATSIM, which is how it should be. But Say Intentions, is able to integrate with VATSIM now, hand you off back and forth, things like that, to VATSIM, to Say Intentions. So I think it's an awesome tool that, both experienced and scary pilots, as I'll put it, scary pilots to kind of help them, learn the ropes, even for the experienced guys. For me, sometimes it's even though it's AI, it's fun to fly with a controller controlling you. So that's where I'm at with it.
No, I got you. That's good. That's sort of my take on it as well. Anyone else?
Yeah, I haven't dabbled in it. I've watched a number of streams with people that are using either Beyond ATC or Say Intentions. I think the biggest advantage to something like that, I remember when Say Intentions was presenting at Expo Friday last year, I think it was, and they made, or maybe it was the year before, but they made mention of the fact of how you could seamlessly integrate between, either when VATSIM goes offline or when VATSIM's coming out. So you're going into their airspace, coming out of their airspace, whatever. So you don't miss a beat. You feel like you're under coverage all the time. That part of it sounds really cool. But also, to Leo's point, someone who is not very comfortable with VATSIM, you always got to make that leap somewhere. And it's, what was it? The old, the baby steps kind of deal. If you can take a baby step and talk to a computer that isn't going to, scold you for real, it's a computer at the end of the day, you can mess up with the computer. You can also find the computer's messing up and, you get mad at it. And I see lots of streams about that. But as the AI gets better, it's always going to be like, I remember flying back in the early days when I wasn't doing VATSIM and I didn't want the spotty coverage, but I wanted something. So I was using these little other tools that were out there and they sucked, but they were still better than nothing. And so I think that's that's fulfilling the space here is it's never going to be as good as the real person. That touch of being on Pilot Edge or VATSIM and be able to talk to real controllers, just like we're simulating flying, they're simulating controlling. Being able to have that and the human factor that comes with that is second to none. And that's why I love being on VATSIM. I love being on Pilot Edge. But it's a good little gap fill. It fills a niche for people that just don't want to do VATSIM, can't do VATSIM for whatever reason. It's just not their cup of tea, or they're trying to learn and take that baby step. And I think that's where things like AI tools, again, if we treat AI like a tool and use it in a rational way, great. Has a lot of potential, as opposed to great. Let's just throw everything we do at AI and hope it solves our lives. That's not going to
let it do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No, spot on. Good take, man.
Yep.
I know where Johnny and Charlie kind of are on it, but cool. It's Matt. Did you go? You started grumbling,
no.
But then you let Leo take the floor. So I'm curious.
He summed it up with his groan. That was what the.
Look, yeah. So there's I have a lot of what Mustafa and Leo said. My issue with it is it's very AI in the sense of I mess with it. I won't name which one. But I either did the trial or I did it for real for like a month or something, and it wasn't for me. Just because it's so AI. Like the AI is there. If we think about LLMs, right? They're coded in a way to support the user no matter what. So if you tell them that you're going to do something, regardless of if you shouldn't, there's a hard bias towards getting you to do that thing.
Yeah.
And like for example, if I wanted to request a Bravo transition in Seattle. In real life, they're going to tell me absolutely not. They're going to say stay clear of the Bravo. I've gotten more Bravo transitions on VATSIM and like in Fake World than I have in the real life. I've only gotten one Bravo transition, and like I guess they were feeling friendly that day. That's my issue number one with it. Number two is like it's just very rigid. And again, I might have tried an older build. Maybe it's advanced a little bit, but like if I say, I can't say short of 1.6 ready to go. If I say short of 1.6 ready to go, it's gonna break the AI model because it did for me, and it did for me in going into uncontrolled field. So for me, the human touch is needed. Air traffic controllers are very regulated on what they must say. Pilots, there's certain things you have to say as a pilot that can be said in a few different ways. There's some shalls and mays, but yeah, I'm more of a relaxed pilot. I hit the words I have to say, even in real life or on VATSIM. I'm pretty much the same in each way, and I'll shorthand a lot of stuff. It's kind of a joke we have. I don't know if Evan can relate, as he's a Boston controller and he gets a lot of international flights that go out of there. But the European pilots, when they come to the U.S., it's hilarious because they'll tell you kind of their whole life story when they're calling up for a clearance. Versus the U.S., you don't have to give your gate number, your aircraft type, your departure time, which way you'd like to push, which way you're looking, and what you had for lunch. It's brevity, and I'm a brevity type of guy. So shout out to my European guys. I don't hate you. I just hate the way that European radio transmissions work sometimes.
It's fun though. I like going over there and doing flights, and it's just like you have to remember, and that's another thing that makes VATSIM so great, right? Just the global concept of it. It's just 100%. What you're getting in the U.S. differs from what you're getting in Europe, just like it does in the real world. And I think tying all that together is just really phenomenal. It makes it really cool. Evan, any thoughts on that? AI versus well, not versus, but the place of AI air traffic controlling.
No.
I thought as much.
Different partners and sponsors. If I'm going to talk about say intentions, I'm going to talk about the stage, the work that Brian and the team have done to support the show.
Absolutely.
Diamond sponsors this year, big announcements on stage every year. So there will be more of that for sure. I think it's like just if these are things that are just amazing that we have in flight sim, that you can even try this, that you can even have this, that if you look back a few years ago, that there'd be 5 or 6 different ways that you can have a air traffic control, whether it's human or AI, at any point of the day for any number of subscription prices or non-subscription prices. Like, I just think that's amazing for our hobby, and I'm hoping that more and more people, if they discover flight sim because of this, or if they get comfortable using VATSIM, Pilot Edge, Say Intentions, whatever, because of one of these tools, I think those are all positive things. But yeah, short of that, I mean, it probably isn't my place to talk positively or too negatively about any of the people that support the show, and everyone we've talked about, Say Intentions, VATSIM, and all that, are great partners of ours and great friends.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, and that's the thing, and it's not so much a bashing like either or, and this is coming from someone that came up before any of that, VATSIM or Say Intentions. I know for me, it's been a great tool to bridge the gap between both platforms. I've used VATSIM since VATSIM came out, and it's been great for me, but to people's point, it's not a paid service. Folks don't get paid. They volunteer their time. So, and I fly at weird times. I mean, I'm a dad of 3, so I don't have normal people's time. So I fly when I can fit it in. And it's great to, utilize, services, whether it be Beyond or Say Intentions, to be able to, to fill that gap in coverage. And I think, at the end of the day, I think this is a great point in time for any simmer, any simmer.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, going back to learning, communications, which is like the number one thing in aviating. um I think, I think those aspects are huge. So, to say, whether it's, and now is it AI? Sure, and it's, we're looking at the technology of artificial intelligence across, I work in the healthcare industry. We're dealing with the same struggles with AI as it is in any other industry. So, it's going to be a growing technology. Is it perfect? No. But is it better than, what we had 20 years ago? You bet your button. So, I mean, it's I just think we're just in a really great point in time, whether despite your feelings, on the technology or what have you, at the end of the day, if I'm a student and, I'm trying to save Hobbs time and that saves me Hobbs time, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So.
Yeah, we talked a lot about ATC, but then there's also the pilot side. So there's Bernoulli and a couple of the other AI-based kind of flight intelligence softwares out there that I think are really interesting. And we did this thing with Bernoulli this year where people could buy a month subscription and they get some time on the platform at the event itself, and it sold out in like 2 hours, like with slots throughout the course of the weekend, which was really interesting. And parts of this exist. I don't think it's fully there yet. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'm kind of waiting for the AI software that can like teach you how to fly any airliner, because I think that would be really amazing. Like we have
That
little
would be
bits of this,
cool.
but if you could be like, okay,
sure.
the A220 just dropped, and there would be some system that like you as a real A220 pilot could get on, and it would know that you're a real pilot. It would just say, here's what's different about the sim, like teaching you how to put fuel in this plane because you don't do that in real life. But it also could like take Mike, who's never flown a plane before at any 220 before, and be like, you're a flight simmer, okay, so you already know how the dispatch tools work, but like here's how you do the setup in the A220. Like I would love it if like there was some magical system that could just give me exactly as much help as I want to make it like super super easy to learn one of these airplanes. Like I know that level of complexity in coding is probably beyond where we are now, but like when that thing exists, that'll be really cool.
Cater to the user. Yeah, I'm sure that's not far away. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sure
and,
it's
and
coming.
the AI will have been able to read the manual instantly.
That's right.
So it just needs to, be able to dispatch that information to you. But to what Johnny said, talking about the, it's a great time to be a simmer right now. And whether we're talking about AI or whatever else, I think we've, the cool thing about the flight sim hobby, it's not just, there's the core sim, and that's what we've always had, either whether it's X-Plane or P3D or Microsoft Flight Simulator, whatever it is. You get this core sim, and then you have developers all over the place that find their little niche and create these awesome products and things that, as a simmer, I would never think of to do necessarily. But then someone comes out with this and goes, oh man, that would be really cool. And I think of, just real fast, the release we just got recently in Jet Card, which is expanded this whole idea of using business jet stuff. It's using AI to create stories for your Jet Card experience and to do executive aviation. So a space that really hasn't, we've always had these little exec jets around at the sim, but this is another niche that someone said, you know what, hey, I think this would be a cool thing, and it is blown up.
Yeah,
And
it's cool.
that just goes to show we're living in the best timeline, right? There is an endless sea of, whether it's hardware, whether it's software, whether it's AI tools, whether it's tutorials, whether it's whatever, that is just making your sim experience amazing and whatever you want it to be.
Shout out FSExpo volunteer Sean, who will also be on stage helping us out run the stage.
Ah, yes.
That's right.
Awesome.
Friday. Every time you see somebody in a red shirt come out and help with one of our stage presentations on Friday, that's Sean.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Shout out to him for sure.
Jet Card's super cool. He didn't even tell me he was working on Jet Card. We talked all the time, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh yeah, I made this day." I'm like, "Dude,
Really?
That's cool.
I made this thing.
Yeah, that old jet car cost me about $3 million today.
That knowledge is only people who are coming to play
CTP
That's why you don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
CTP aviation.
Yeah, that's why
you
you
got
don't
me
know.
there. You got me there. I'll take it. I got brought.
Got him. Oh man, I think that's a great segue, gents, to wrap this up here with all things FlightSim Expo. Again, taking place this coming weekend, St. Paul River Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. For those that are attending, obviously you've got everything squared away, I would hope by now. Evan, is there an opportunity to, if you're in the Minnesota area locally, to walk in and register for the weekend?
Yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
heck, you can still get a flight. It's not too late. Come
That's
in from
true.
Germany if you're Matt Burton and you want to make a trip out of it. There's still hotels out there, and there are all of the details on travel, airfare discounts on our website, FlightSimExpo.com. People can get their tickets online in advance. People can get their tickets at the door on the day of. You can walk up Sunday afternoon. We had people last year walk up on Sunday at like 2. And they're like, "Goodbye, a ticket." And we're like, "If you want, but like, there's like an hour of the show left." Like, no, I want to go in. I'm like, "Okay, sure, come on in."
That's
I
awesome.
met, I met one of those people. They were like determined to come see me because they live in the area and they were like coming back to family. So that was one of them. But I was also want to say, I'll plug this so Evan doesn't have to. If you want to support the show and you can't go, get the online registration, because then you can still see a bunch of the stuff. It's not as cool as being there, but it's the next best thing. It's a great way to support the show, and maybe one of these years when it's close enough to you, you can make the trip. But it's only like $15, and you get the online experience.
Yep, that's what I did last year. It's awesome. They do a great job with the online presentations.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I say don't be lame like me. Make sure you get out there.
Don't be like not Matt.
Yeah,
Be Matt.
You don't get
not
cool
Matt.
information. Get out there because it is worth it. All these events they're just worth it. Big family reunion. The Two-Tone Murphy, going to be there, and the CTP guys. Hopefully no drunk uncles fighting. But
a lovable drunk uncle fighting. That's the difference.
For the love of God, Evan, please tell me if you have to kick people out. Like I want to know these.
Oh man, gents, this has been phenomenal. Any parting words for the folks? And again, thank you all that tuned in live here. Spent some time with us. Enjoyed the commentary in the chat. We were watching and monitoring. Look forward to seeing you all there. Hopefully, this coming weekend it'll be a blast.
Indeed.
Anything, Johnny, Charlie?
Man, spade and neuter your animals.
Bob Barker.
See you Friday.
Yeah, he did just go Bob Barker on us. Wow. Throwback
Drink your milk.
He knows the price is right. Okay.
Yeah. Always check your mirrors when you're backing up.
Just say no to drugs.
Yep, say no to drugs.
Yep.
All of the above. Oh man. All right, Johnny, take us out before we get canceled here, man.
All right now.